Hi guys, this week's episode of The Read is brought to you by Royal Oils. Nobody should have to choose between a healthy scalp and moisturized hair, even though we've all used products before that were maybe good for one and bad for the other. Like maybe it's good for your scalp, but it dries out your hair. And then when you switch it up, you get something that keeps your hair looking good, but it fries your scalp. Well, I don't have any of those issues with the Royal Oils collection. It has been incredible for my scalp. I love every single product in the line. It just feels so good, keeps my scalp satisfied and healthy and moisturized and all that other good stuff. I cannot recommend it enough. So check out why I love it so much. Royal Oils helps men and women keep that scalp clean and flake free. So pick up yours today at Walmart stores or walmart.com. Okay, let's move on.
This week's episode is also being brought to you by Hulu's new comedy series, Woke, inspired by the life and work of artist Keith Knight. Watch as Woke takes an absurdly irreverent look at identity and culture as it follows Keith, an African-American cartoonist, finally on the verge of mainstream success when an unexpected incident changes everything. It stars Lamorne Morris and many other faves of ours. So go and watch it. Woke. All new episodes are streaming now exclusively on Hulu. So go to hulu.com/woke for more info. Check it out. And let's start the show. Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of this particular show, or welcome for the first time. I am Bajorn from My Super Sweet 16.
And I am Gladys Nice Pantsuit. This is The Read. Thank you for coming back.
Yes, hello. Lots of stuff going on right now. You could have been anywhere, concerned with any other thing, like, the fact that COVID is about to turn into cold-vid for many of us.
Yes.
And we don't really know what that's going to look like. The fact that California literally looks like hell on earth. Guess we know who that state's voting for, because it just changed its color to look like the president in solidarity. Also, speaking of which, Trump outed herself for lying.
Oh my God.
About yet another thing. Many things. But we'll discuss.
Yeah.
Either way, there are joyful things happening. People are having children.
I was gonna say, yeah, Sierra and Russell Wilson's baby is really cute.
That's nice. I just found out that I can eat so many Pringles within a 24-hour period without having to go to the emergency room.
Okay.
Probably a record-breaking number of Pringles. That's nice.
All right.
Stuff to cling on to out here. But
yeah.
Let's get things going in our normal routine, starting with Black Excellence. Of course, this week's Black Excellence is Naomi Osaka. The Haitian-Japanese warrior athlete superstar took home her third Grand Slam win and second U.S. Open win, all while dealing with an injury to her hamstring. And, probably haters and doubters.
I'm sure of that.
But you can't keep a real badass down. And Naomi also did this while wearing masks. Masks that have the names of several of our slain Black brothers and sisters who have lost their lives to the cops, the crazies, and all of the other diseases of this country.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing her be a badass, but also be a badass with names like Breonna Taylor, Philando Castillo, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, like seeing that symbolic raised fist, if you will, it just makes me a super fan. So congratulations to this 22-year-old badass for inspiring, and collecting that check at the end of the day, because I know you don't do this for free, honey.
Right, and you deserve every dime. She tweeted something after the match about thanking her ancestors because she can't lose with their blood in her veins. And I was just like, that's right. Y'all thought it was over with the Williams sisters, and it's a whole new crop of black girls here to ruin your sport and take your things. So
I know that her aunts and uncles must be so aggravated when the family gets together, because you must have what is it like to sit down next to her parents when everybody gathers together to talk about what their children are doing? Do they even do you even just
don't even
talk?
Bring up Naomi? So she's not a part of this conversation.
Oh, here she go. Of course they came over. Thought they would miss the cookout this year.
No.
Anyway, congratulations, girl. You're a superstar. This week in Hot Tops Into Deep, lots to unpack. Most of it is stupid. First of all, not so stupid, but I did miss the Clash of the Cobblers, or the Sunday service skirmish.
Yeah, that's right. Auntie Cello.
the Auntie Avengers.
That's right.
I didn't catch the Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle versus. I saw a couple of highlights, including Miss Patty kicking her shoes off because she's Patti LaBelle, duh. And standing for herself because obviously. I got a full singing choreographed moment of Love Overboard, which is important to me as a black person.
Yep.
And a gay person. And it just looked like, these icons had a good time with one another. Dionne Warwick was there because obviously. And they sang. They weren't just sitting back, in their latest styled outfit or whatever and listening to their hits. They were actually standing for the music and the moments and singing their songs, which was nice. None of my relatives actually called to figure out how to use Instagram Live, which led me to believe that they knew that I wasn't going to pick up, and so they probably called one of my cousins.
Yeah.
Or they didn't watch, which is unlikely. So somebody probably helps them, or they're just really, really up to date on how Instagram works, which I wouldn't put it past some of my relatives because they're super active on the apps apparently, and I would just like to have nothing to do with that. So
yeah, that's real. The aunties have migrated. A lot of them know how to use Instagram now, and even if you don't, if you can find the profile, then you just have to click the button that says live. It is not super complicated.
But one of the first things you see when you go to the page.
Yeah, it's right
usually,
there. It is.
If they're live. Man, you just press that.
But yeah, I agree. It was just like seeing these icons of childhood and the soundtrack to the music that I heard specifically when we was cleaning up the house. But,
yeah.
Also just randomly all the time whenever the mood decided to strike. So it was just nice in that way. Here go these black ladies that I have loved every day of my life up here cutting up and looking like family.
One of the few silver linings to being woken up Saturday morning to clean the whole damn house, according to my mother, we had a respectable sound system that my father purchased because music and Jamaicans. And so Saturday mornings was the day that my mama said, we're going to clean the house. And by we, I mean y'all. So...
Oh, triggered.
We were woken up, and usually there was some good classic Patty, Gladys, Sade, Prince, and then obviously like Gregory Isaacs and Bob Marley and all of the fucking Jamaicans. So like, definitely what you're mentioning in terms of cleaning the house music, lots of that nostalgia. I was hoping when I looked at some of the highlights and things that there were possibly some of the younger Versus fans tuned in to figure out who some of their faves sampled samples from.
That's right. It's 2 degrees of sampling at this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because at this point, the Sweeties of the world are just like 3 degrees away from, the Pips. So,
oh, Lord.
I just hope that for some of our youth, there was a history lesson somewhere in there. Because I know that y'all bitches recognized at least some fucking Jacquees song or something.
Yeah, it had to be, right. You heard a melody and you was like, well, I thought that was a Lil Durk or somebody, I don't know. Be like, no, exactly. Actually. This came from the 60s, the 70s. This that old shit. This is back when niggas was making shit.
Right. And knowing these damn kids, honestly, they'll probably be like, I didn't know that Gladys Knight liked YBN Namir or whoever. Like, no, girl. She doesn't know who that is.
Isn't one of those YBN boys Naomi Osaka's boyfriend?
I don't think that he uses an abbreviation anymore. I think he just goes by Corday.
Oh, okay.
And bringing him up while we're on the discussion, I always looked at him as the one with the abbreviation that can rap. I didn't know anything about like any of that other stuff, but I knew that I had heard him rap a couple of times and that he did have some sort of I don't know if it's NBA, YBN, or XYZ, but I know that nigga can rap. I don't know that he still uses the abbreviation anymore, but he was at the game with a defund the police t-shirt on, standing for his queen.
Right.
Which is cute.
Being a good boyfriend. That was cute.
What else is going on? So, right on the heels of this Fresh Prince reboot, still not sure if it's a series or film that this reboot is. But yeah, Sir Will Smith is still hard at work in the name of the classic sitcom. Apparently, they are or have filmed a reunion for the Fresh Prince show and sort of revealed this on its 30th anniversary. My God.
That was, you didn't have to say that. You did not have to say 30.
I mean, the caption literally says today is exactly 30 years in all caps. But like, I really just swallow that. Like, oh my God, this show is 30.
Damn.
I remember.
And I remember it, right? And I remember that series fondly and clearly.
You know,
like
at this
it was
point,
just on TV.
You know, I'm not here for a long while. You know, I get it. Whatever.
Yeah, we're here for a good time.
Oh, that's what it is. Not here for a long time. Whatever Aubrey said. Listen, the reunion was shot. The girls were present. Will Smith posted a photo here. And, you know, the expected faces were in the photo. We've got Hillary, we've got Carlton, we've got Jeffrey, we've got Jazz, we've got why am I forgetting Tatiana Ali's character's name?
Ashley.
We've got young Ashley Banks. And it was like, okay. And the first thing I thought when I saw the picture, obviously, was like, well, I guess we'll just wait for the impending video essay on Facebook from Janet Hubert. Because we know that dark skin / real Aunt Viv is an important ingredient in the delicious stew that is Fresh Prince. But the gag was actually in the sliding over of the post. Because in the second photo, we see a very intimate moment here between Wilford and Ms. Hubert.
The
iconic Blacktress herself.
She showed up, man. You could have knocked me over with a goddamn feather. I said, I know that's not the Blacktress.
I lost it. Like, I'm so excited about this.
I need it.
Especially because, like, in this photo, it looks like she just came off the tail end of a read. Like, I don't know
yeah,
what
she probably
exactly.
just got done telling him about himself, and then they polite laughing at it.
I can't fucking wait. Well, I'm first of all so glad that they were able to, like, put whatever aside. I would guess that, you know, the passing of James Avery probably has a lot to do with it.
Maybe so.
But I'm just glad to see that Janet Hubert's going to be involved, because no shade to light skinned on Viv. Like I said, she had a funny joke in there, and you know what I'm saying? She just took a role. You know what I'm saying? No, she
had a joke.
And that actor is not only known for Fresh Prince, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, she herself has a resume.
She had her own
so
career and all that, yeah.
But like, the original Vivian Banks is like iconic sitcom mom, not even just black mom. So to do a reunion of this caliber when we're discussing a reboot and everything, it feels good to know that she's going to be involved in whatever capacity. And the fact that they sat down and are probably going to discuss whatever led to them being able to sit down together feels good. I'm super glad that they're all together and stuff like that. And I'm, you know, looking forward to whatever the reunion is going to involve. And I heard that they rented out the fucking house. Apparently the Bel Air house is like available on Airbnb.
What?
Yeah, and like, I guess Will Smith actually.
No, don't say.
Who the I don't even want to know.
Okay.
Now that you mention it. I don't know. But the photo that he posted with the majority of the cast looks like the set of like the house. And then he posted something later with Jazz like outside of the house from the show. So I'm excited to see how they're going to put it all together. And Will Smith and Westbrook are like super tapped into like all of the weird technological appy things. You know what I mean? Like, if you follow the Westbrook page, they're always posting some weird optical illusion or some new shit like that was just like visually trippy and fun. So I don't know if any of that is going to be involved, but I'm assuming that Westbrook is involved in the reunion, so I'm interested to see how it's going to be produced.
Yes, I mean, as soon as I saw the Blacktress, I just immediately, the wheels started turning. Like, how are we going to see them play this out? Like, is it going to be... Because it wasn't like Janet Hubert divorced Uncle Phil and then this new, like, she was just replaced by this woman. They're supposed to be the same character, so it's not like we can have them come and interact with each other as the same person.
But as we mentioned before, as like there were two Vivians were so different, even though they were supposed to be
personality wise and everything else, right? So
like occupation, everything they were very different.
General tone and demeanor, like all that shit. So I really cannot wait to see how they finesse this and bring original Aunt Viv back without disrespecting light-skinned Aunt Viv, who just came to do her fucking job. Okay?
She
just came to get her fucking check and do her
and did her work.
Job.
You know what I'm saying? For real, absolutely.
Right. Like, it's not her fault that that Will and Janet Hubert fell out. So I'm really excited to see how they do that. And then I looked up the Airbnb thing. So apparently Will Smith is like partnering with the owners of the mansion to rent out one wing of the house, the Will wing, I guess.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So and it's only $30 a night. and it's only going to be available for 5 nights. But
yeah,
they're not charging anywhere near what it would actually cost. Like, it's clearly a promotional thing. So
yeah,
that should be fun for whichever lucky people get selected to stay in that house, because it's probably like an application thing. I'm sure that's not like a regular booking process.
But honestly, like, if it doesn't look the way inside it did on the show, and of course it doesn't because the show was a set, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't think I'd give a fuck. Like, at best, you could take a picture outside of it and be like, look where I'm at.
That is the whole point, to take a picture outside by them big white pillars where DJ Jazzy Jeff got thrown out on his fucking ear.
Right.
Every single
maybe
episode.
You can recreate that. That might be cute.
Right.
But other than that.
That's why it's $30, because that's basically all y'all gonna be doing.
Exactly.
Y'all gonna be taking pictures outside and being annoying. Shout out to the owners for actually letting this happen, because I don't think I would have done it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Many other people probably would not have done it either.
No.
But because a mega rich superstar celebrity is involved, it probably sweetens the pot.
Well, that would be fun. And that was some very good news this week.
Yeah. Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, man, it's just not going to be the same without her. And I know she's going to have something to say about it. So it's like, damn. But then it was not damn. So good.
It's already bad enough that Uncle Phil's not here.
Exactly.
Let's not make it worse.
So rumors were flaring up that Rihanna was shooting a new music video with Young Thug recently. Turns out maybe not the case. First of all, I want to say that I've taken it upon myself to start calling this girl by her damn name, which is Rihanna, and not Rihanna. And I don't know why it's taking me this long to stand in this, because I know what her name is, but I've just been calling her Rihanna all this time because that's what Americans call her, and she allows them to because she gets it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That ain't her motherfucking name, and of course it's not. I'm Jamaican. Of course the girl's name is Rihanna. Of course it's the way that it's fucking pronounced. That sounds like an island name. So I just said, you know what? I can't have the bloodline that I have and keep in good faith.
That's right.
Our conscious calling this girl anything but Rihanna. And I'm probably going to have to remind myself a couple of times until it sticks. But that's her name. So Rihanna.
Yes. Take them American shackles off your feet.
So someone photographed her on set with Young Thug, assuming that she was shooting a music video. Apparently, it sounds like she's shooting the latest Savage Fenty fashion show. I think this will be the second one. I'm not sure.
Really?
Was last year the first one? How old is that? It feels like Savage Fenty has been out a while.
Maybe last year was the first one where they were at Fashion Week.
Yeah, like a Fashion Week one?
Maybe. Wasn't that the one where old girl was super pregnant and went into labor?
I think so.
Oh my God. It's so hard to tell what happened last year and what happened yesterday.
I don't exactly.
I don't know, but yeah.
Last year it was at Barclays, and had a whole bunch of performances, including Big Sean, Tierra Whack, Migos. So it sounds like that's what was going on. They have had a lot of people posting, the latest pieces and stuff like that. Personally, I'm a bit offended that nobody reached out to me about being a Savage by Fenty ambassador myself, but it's fine. I understand that
that's
some
a
things
horrible
are for the ladies.
oversight. No, they should have called you.
It's hurtful, but it's fine. It's okay. Either way, it sounds like the new fashion show might be coming to Amazon Prime again in October. So, Once again, a pump fake by Miss Rihanna. For you bitches and your feelings. She's, again, working on one of her 3,000 businesses. Catch up and get into her beauty.
Remember when she told the Navy that her album was coming out last year?
Yeah.
And had them niggas waiting
and it's almost
the last
next year.
Second.
Yeah.
Had them waiting and still did not put out a goddamn thing. Trolled
And
them all
what she
over
said?
again. She's so rude.
They'll deal. She said they will deal while putting on her lip gloss named after her.
She said, "Get them niggas some toner and some moisturizer. They'll be all right.
It's fine. A little highlight, a little butter,
and they will be just fine."
That shimmery shit she put on her clavicle and her shoulders.
Yeah, her highlight.
Her body glitter
that
and shit
body
or whatever
lava.
that makes it like a fairy. So she also has a documentary coming to Amazon next summer. Apparently, she's been working with a director named Peter Berg for the past 4 years, and they have compiled over 1,200 hours of footage. Apparently, it sounds like they kept going back to filming because she would be like, here's an album, and then here's a fashion line, and then here's a makeup line, and then here are panties, and then here, like, all of these other bad bitch moves and accomplishments. But it sounds like they're finally ready to drop something next summer. I think I read that they would probably be done with the, like, packaging and editing and everything maybe by spring. So if I had to guess, y'all could probably expect music springy, summery of next year.
I see. In like promotion of the
alongside.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Or perhaps she just puts out this movie and you niggas are going to seethe all over again.
Maybe that as well.
She might do that. I just love that they have to keep going back because she keeps outdoing herself. And they're like, bitch, the movie is outdated. And we just finished 2 months ago. Like, can you fucking slow down? But, you know, the answer is no. So whatever she does, like, I'll be watching it.
That's great for a documentary, though, to have that much data for such a long time, and then also scooping up moments from some of her biggest accomplishments as a businesswoman. So I'm sure that, like, whether you're a fan or just someone who's mildly interested, it's probably going to be a good doc. And again, in terms of the album, me, you know, just as someone who enjoys music and has heard of Rihanna, I love it. See, I had Rihanna, I am totally on board. And then hearing that it was like super reggae influenced, right up my alley. But I also, again, and I know that we've talked about this numerous times, I think back to the time where Mama was releasing an album every season, and I'm okay with her being super, like, analytical and very specific and intentional about the release of whatever this next thing is about to be. Because Anti was really, really good.
Yes,
to me, anyway.
No, it was. Anti was good.
And so I'm into her just being like, I'm gonna release this when I'm ready to release it, and when I feel good about whatever the fuck is involved, and you girls will wait. Because I mean, what else do you have to do, bitch?
Right.
So.
I mean, and it's literally what you're going to do. You have no fucking.
You can't.
You could take these shoes and blouses and bras and shit, or not. But it's what you fucking got. So
some of the draws come with like those long gloves, like a Disney villain that come up past your elbows.
Them ballroom gloves.
I'm into that. That's fashionable and nice. So lots to get into. You know, you can do one of Rihanna's numerous makeup tutorials where she'd be clearly tilted, having a good time with her friends and them. Lots of Rihanna content.
Yeah, she's giving you plenty of things to do. Just none of them involve new musical tunes.
None of them have
and that's
new
all
songs.
Right. That's right.
You know, but you could do like your own at-home Rihanna verses where you know, play loud versus rated R.
And then just go back and forth critiquing the songs yourself.
You and your wine of choice judge and pick a winner.
Okay, that's actually not a bad idea because Rated R and Loud are two of my favorite Rihanna albums, right behind
Fantastic
Anti, actually.
Pieces of music.
So I am actually fucking with the vision. This might be the move. It really
Lots
might.
to keep you busy. Yeah.
Anything but new shit. Literally anything but do a whole face.
There just isn't anything you can do
That
about
bitch
it.
got brow products and everything now.
No.
probably toenail polish and everything. Good luck.
Deodorant, kneecap glitter, whatever. Just not new music. Get over it. Nothing you're gonna do about it.
And don't ask.
Speaking of new business endeavors, one Travis Scott was mobbed by fans at an old school McDonald's in Downey, California last week in promotion for the Travis Scott meal, which is apparently now available at your local McDonald's if you would like. I want to start this by saying that there is literally nothing special about this meal. In case you were curious, wanted to know but haven't looked it up yet, whatever. It is literally, it's not like a new kind of sandwich, new flavor, new ingredient. It's literally just what Travis Scott gets when he goes to McDonald's.
Wow.
This includes a quarter pounder with lettuce and bacon, which I guess is like, I guess if you would have to ask for those things.
I did not know you could do that, actually. I did not know you could. I did not know you could put bacon on a, what'd you say, a quarter pounder? I don't know why. That just didn't occur to me.
I mean, I think at some point in the 90s, McDonald's was like, yeah, girl, just whatever you want, just we'll put it on there.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's nothing, again, he's likely not the only person who orders their quarter pounder with bacon and or lettuce on it, because you may.
Yeah.
So,
and fries with barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce for your fries. Not like a barbecue infused fry or like something innovative in the name of fries. It's just a condiment in addition to the fries you likely would have gotten with your burger anyway. And then a Sprite.
I mean, so yeah, niggas love Sprite, but I'm just so confused. This barbecue sauce is really perplexing me because, like, any other time, McDonald's would be like, that's 50 cents or 75 cents or whatever. Like, they would not just give you no damn barbecue sauce for your fries, but I guess they packaging it all together as a meal, like this specific configuration.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much the Travis Scott meal costs, but I heard that they were passing
$6.
out the Macarona for free.
It's $6.
The girls were out there. Well, it looks like most of them have masks on, but he was out there signing hats, vinyls. I read someone asked him to sign their dog. Travis Scott is just a rap rock star at this point, and that's what all of this is about. I really don't know why you would ask for this meal specifically, because again, it's just McDonald's.
Right. There's nothing new
like
about this at all. I'm sorry.
Like, I guess if you're like a die-hard stan with a shrine, it's like, oh my goodness, I can get what he orders. And you probably knew that anyway. Like, I just don't get what's like. Honestly, I feel like the Chris clan has something to do with this, because I remember a couple of months ago, I was in my local bodega and I was going to get my Reese's Puffs peanut butter chocolate flavor. And for whatever reason, the Reese's Puffs boxes had Travis Scott on them, and they said Travis Scott's Reese's Puffs. And I was like, it's so interesting. I had no idea that he purchased Reese's Puffs. So I don't know how he has just waltzed into all of these food companies and taken over.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that it has lined his pockets impressively.
I was absolutely about to ask, what is the point of this endeavor with McDonald's? What is the reason?
Money, and to go to McDonald's and dance on top of a fucking Suburban or whatever, the Escalade, whatever this is, and sign titties and dogs and get paid for it, I guess.
I mean, I suppose I just saw a video of these Travis Scott fans stealing the Travis Scott McDonald's posters off of the McDonald's. So
Why not?
and I don't know why they didn't think that would happen. Y'all should have had that taped up on the inside of the window. That was y'all's
You're here
bad,
for a
actually,
long time.
For putting
you're here for a short time. You're here for a life. Whatever Aubrey said. Why not? Steal.
I'm like, oh, so y'all are really that bold with it. But, okay. If you were going to McDonald's anyway and you're a fan of Travis Scott, then maybe you feel closer to him by getting lettuce on your burger.
I'm just blown away by the fact that it is literally whatever the fuck your ass could get at McDonald's any the black ass way. But
just with Travis Scott's name on it.
And the girls were out there by the dozens. Like they were out there just dying to get a peek of those braids. Stormy, I hear, wasn't paid enough, wasn't offered enough to make an attendance. And I stan a queen who stands by her principles and knows her worth. So she wasn't in attendance for this particular promotional event.
Yeah, they didn't have the budget.
But, at the same time, I'm just like, at least when Migos linked up with Popeyes, it was like, look, bitch, we got that sandwich that you girls were shooting each other over.
Yeah.
So ask them for the Quavo when you pull up, and you might be able to taste one. This is just barbecue sauce and fries.
Which, again, niggas was already eating. Like, niggas been loving assorted sauce on fries, so.
And honestly, you ain't a real bitch unless you have some Chick-fil-A sauce in your motherfucking house anyway that you take when you put, like, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, one of the sauces from any of the other. Like, who the fuck eats McDonald's with McDonald's sauce?
There ain't no sauce at McDonald's that is so legendary that you just have to have it. Not a single one.
Bitch. You should be dipping that shit into your own concoction or something delicious from someplace else. You understand what I'm saying? I would absolutely maybe have a McDonald's fry with Publix chicken. But just this rinky dink ass, whatever the fuck I could have got for $5 at McDonald's anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a grand total of $6. So I don't even think they're giving you some giant discount on what this meal would cost. Anyway, but
that's what I'm saying. It likely includes the additional 50 cents for the barbecue.
I guess I just did not know Travis Scott was really that popular. And I knew he was very popular. Like, he went to Oklahoma and sold out a fucking venue in Tulsa. So I know that nigga is popping, but
yeah, the girls enjoy
your own meal at McDonald's popping. I did not see that. So
it's not like you put octopus on it or you know what I'm saying?
It's not a new chicken sandwich like I would have thought.
Right. It's not okay. If Travis Scott would have taken his Big Mac home or his quarter pounder and his Mima would put you know what I'm saying? Like apricot jam or some dumb shit on it. You know what I mean? Something that you couldn't get otherwise. Bitch, this is the same. Girl, you know how many people probably have this same order? What's interesting about this?
Everybody. Thousands of people across the country going, I get that every Tuesday. What?
And this is not a part. I mean, I enjoy Travis Scott's music actually a lot, and I think he's weird in a fun way. I remember when I went to the Damn tour, and he was opening for Kendrick, and this nigga performed half of his set on a giant robotic vulture or eagle or something. At one point, I'm pretty sure that he fed it like a giant possum or something. And I'm into weird when I buy it. Mm-hmm. Depending on the level of weird. And that nigga's weird. And so that was a good time, And Stormy is again an icon. I don't hold her mama against her. So fine. I don't understand the promotion, but again, money, sure. Speaking of money, Boosie Badazz is offering Mark Zuckerberg $100,000.
You didn't have to do that.
Boosie official tweeted at Zuck, which is not Mark Zuckerberg's Twitter account because Mark Zuckerberg does not have a Twitter account. At Zuck, I got 100K from my official Boosie IG page back.
What?
Yes, he is apparently offering Mark Zuckerberg $100,000 to renew his official Boosie Instagram page after it was removed, likely due to NSFW content, maybe scams. But Boosie apparently also has a backup page because it exists on Instagram where they were posting the latest footage from a pool party that he had recently, which was reasonably attended. You know, it looked like the COVID special. You know, nobody was wearing masks, but it wasn't packed. A lot of you niggas are doing way worse in terms of your gatherings.
Lord.
So I'll give him that. But yeah, he wants to offer Big Zuck at least $100K for his Instagram back, and says that that's pretty much
it. Okay. Well, I mean, the whole, Mark Zuckerberg not having a Twitter account aside, which is honestly, that story could end right there. Because how? But also, did you really think $100,000 meant something?
Hello.
To the man who founded Facebook? Do you really think
Mark Zuckerberg likely wipes his children's asses with $100,000?
He don't even wipe it. He pays somebody to wipe his kids' ass.
Hello.
He pays somebody $100,000 per ass wiped. Like this. That's nothing to him. $100,000 is less than play money to that man. So
at some point, I need for one of y'all that actually cares about this man and his spray painted hairline to tap in and be like, "Hey, girl. So one, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know who you are, doesn't care. Bigger things to worry about in that white world. B, you were likely banned because you may not put your pussy lips on live for any amount of money. You just can't do it. Also, that is a very stupidly wealthy white man. Like, I know that you believe you understand what being rich looks like. No. But that man, like, $100,000 is probably like one cleaner. Actually, like whoever cleans one wing of the house, maybe that's what they get a week. Like, that man was never even going to spell Boosie for that amount of money. So this is funny, but sad. So one of y'all should care about him.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is like also not even at all involved with the day-to-day operations over at Instagram. That would be somebody else's decision. You bribing the wrong nigga.
Never heard of you.
Like, somebody, because it's not me. I left Boosie a long time ago, but somebody who cares should really reach back and help that nigga from looking so goddamn stupid. Because this is foolish. First of all, who are you tweeting to? Where is that going?
The next time that Boosie has his honey bun cereal mega feast, he should one of y'all should be like, before we take the first bite, we just wanted to have an intervention and talk to you about this misinformation you have in terms of Mark Zuckerberg, what he does and what he would do for you, which is nothing.
Right.
So
he does not know who you are.
Doesn't care. Never will. So yeah.
Oh, get him out of here.
I just found it funny that he, first of all, who told you that his Twitter was Zuck?
It's like you started typing his name and you saw something that was close enough and you just said, fuck it, it'll get there. Anyway.
Like, they'll get it.
Like, that's not.
Point stands.
Oh, God, Boosie. Sad.
One Doja Cat says she has no interest in beefing with Nas. She loves him ever so much. She appeared on a podcast Instagram show that Fat Joe has.
What? How have I never heard of this?
The girls are so bored. So Fat Joe has like a show, I guess, that he's doing via Instagram at home. And he recently had Doja Cat and one of her other wigs she fell into live, where they discussed all sorts of things, including Nas and how she felt about Nas dissing her on Ultra Black. To which she said she's just glad that he's putting out music because she loves him. and that she basically was excited that he even noticed her ass. She's never going to be with him, and he can say whatever the fuck he wants about her, and then she doesn't give a fuck. And I thought of Family Feud. Good answer.
It is. That is a really good answer. I probably would not have said all the nice things, but the whole, I'm not even finna try to attempt to beef with Nas and he can say what he want. I feel that all the way. Let that rock. Who cares?
First of all, the only reason that this has gotten to this level of discussion is because women and black and pop. Like that nigga was not interested in going toe to toe with fucking Doja Cat. It rhymed. Like that, and that was it. Like, I don't think that he really thought that this was going to be, a topic on the Fat Joe Instagram podcast. So whatever. And, as Doja Cat is concerned, I still stand in. I think that she's a strange bird. I could take her or leave her. I think she's incredibly talented, pretty, very weird, and I don't get her, but maybe I'm not supposed to. She's talented and she's having a good time. Whatever.
That was the line about Doja Cat showing feet in the racial chat or something like that. Was that what it was? Is that what was he talking about her for that? The fact that I don't even remember, and I know this wasn't that long ago. It was just a couple of weeks.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the fact that that's not what he said, or if the fact that he could have, because it kind of rhymes.
Okay. Let me just.
He said unapologetically black, the opposite of Doja Cat.
Oh, okay.
But the fact that he could have said, the fact that he probably could have said showing feet in the racial chat is
okay. Yeah, no, I would have let that go too, Doja.
I'm so full. That pleased me.
Okay, that's really what I thought it was, but all right.
So yeah, I still don't get the feet, the incel chat showing feet thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm just here and I'm just old and I'm waiting for my time. Like, I don't fucking know what any of you bitches were talking. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. But sure, sis.
Yeah.
Apparently on this same Fat Joe Instagram show, he also spoke to Nick Cannon, who said that he's willing to sit down with Eminem and talk things out men.
No thanks. Leave it alone, please.
So I had no idea that Louis Farrakhan was out here on Instagram bringing the girls together.
I hate
of hip hop. I'm into it. I think it's adorable.
I can't stand you.
And yay. Making, Louis Farrakhan really just wants for everyone to have a good time, because we're here for a lifetime. We're here for we're not here for a lifetime.
I'm changing my Instagram name to Louis Farrakhan because that is incredible.
Not here for
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Oh, there it is. We're here for a good time and not a long time. And Louis Farrakhan Joe understands that. And so he's just attempting to bring us together, including Eminem and Nick Cannon and Doja Cat and Nas. So that's lovely.
Oh, Lord.
So apparently there's a podcast that has a whole bunch of Instagram groupies on it where they talk about things that they do with famous people. And the rumor has it that Odell Beckham Jr. is into scat play.
Oh, yes.
Now,
oh, yes.
This was probably reason 1135 of why I shouldn't ever be on Twitter, or things that I immediately log off as a result of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I opened Twitter as a mistake and saw all of y'all talking about Odell Beckham Jr. and shit. And apparently there's a podcast, and as I said, in some stories, Batman's the Joker sort of inspires other psychopaths in Gotham to live a Joker-like lifestyle and be just as publicly insane and just as much of a nuisance. I would consider Cat Stacks to be the Joker in this scenario. And whoever this one particular doo-doo reporter woman is, who apparently was also involved in scandals with other rappers that she's not in relationships with. So I don't know. I didn't watch the video or the clip itself about whatever they were talking about because I'm not here for a lifetime. I'm here for a good time. And so I can't just spend my time just on whatever. I would rather chase my dog around the apartment because we both enjoy that, or play a video game, or drink. So I didn't really watch it. But what I gathered from the pieces the pieces that were placed in front of me, it sounds as though this woman alleges that Odell Beckham Jr. enjoys having people defecate on his person. Now, I'm not here to kink shame. You know, I don't have a personal interest or understanding in terms of scat play. But some of y'all, you know, may like what you like, and that's fine. The Bengals, the Chiefs, the Browns player, the wide receiver of the Browns.
The jokes really do write themselves.
First of all, I understand what I'm talking about and sports.
Yeah,
and
you do.
The job of the wide receiver in football is to receive the pass from a teammate.
You're not wrong.
The pass of the ball from one teammate to the other. Which is correct. So,
I mean,
he responded to these rumors.
Technically, yes.
He responded by posting an Instagram photo that reads, "Can't knock me off my pivot, no matter what shit's thrown my way."
Gross. Okay. That's not a denial.
It isn't.
It is not. And it didn't need to be, actually, because it
doesn't.
I'm not here to kink shame. I actually don't care what consenting adults do. We've said this a trillion times on the show.
Yes.
Y'all are into a lot of things that I find disgusting. A lot of things that I personally, it's like, turns my stomach. But I'm not going to yuck your yum, girl. If you want somebody to take a shit on your chest and leave it there, then as long as both of you consent to that with y'all grown asses, then have a ball. It don't have to be for me. And I don't understand why that young lady felt the need to share it with the rest of us.
Because clicks, validation, attention.
Like, girl, you the one over here telling us you did it. I don't know. Are we supposed to be shaming him or you? Or what was the reason? I don't understand.
I know.
But okay. I mean, y'all have it. Y'all can have it however you like it.
Yes, I consider the fact that one of you wrote a letter into us where you said that you smelled your partner's genitals and the scent was sour. You said it was a sour smell. And yet somehow you tasted it.
You did. You gobbled it anyway.
You did. You did that anyway.
You did that.
And so, you know, I'm not here to judge anyone's children. As I said, I'm here for a lunchtime and not a lifetime. So who knows?
You gonna get it, friend. You really are. You gonna get it one of these times. Yeah.
So to that I say to Odell Beckham Jr., shit happens.
I just say tighten it up, young man. Like, maybe you need to do a better job of screening these girls. It looks like, maybe this is a situation that could have been avoided, but maybe you also really don't care. Maybe you wanted people to know. Maybe this is going to bring out some freaks who are into the same thing, and you won't even have to sort through different hoes to find one who's down for the things you want to do. So maybe it all worked out for you. Now,
don't let any one IG bunny muddy the waters of your story.
Exactly.
Okay. Don't let them stew in the bowels of your person. Okay.
Friend.
You just digest and purge.
We're gonna, keep
all of the toxicities from your life. That's what you do.
That's right. You let them out.
Shit or get off the pot.
You dump them somewhere and you leave them there. That's
Absolutely.
What you do. Now, when some of you sick fucks start talking about jacking off your dog, that's a whole nother conversation. That is a whole
Last but not least, today, I just want to say to Andrew Gillum, hey sis, welcome.
Welcome me, welcome you.
Be careful. If we had known, possibly we could have warned you. I damn sure could have told you a bit about how the white gays act in Miami with drugs and alcohol and grinder or scruff. So just, consider the fact that you are married and that these white ass circuit party going gays, they will have you on TMZ or the New York Post or Daily Mail or wherever the fuck. So.
Right. Like, I'm sorry that you are in this position to where you kind of had to discuss these rumors or allegations or whatever they call it when people are in your personal business and you're a public person. Like, I'm sorry that you're basically pressured into coming out, but I hope things are easier for you now, and I hope you're surrounded by people who still love and support you. Don't know what the situation is with your wife, but maybe y'all had an understanding and now she just mad because everybody else is in y'all's business. Really don't know.
I read that she knew he was bisexual when they got together or when they were married or whatever. Whether that's true or not, I don't really give a shit about. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you are, I'm entitled to identify as whatever the fuck you identify as sexually. Just watch it with these grinder twist going, South Beach Palace going ass queens.
Oh,
they don't give a fuck about your motherfucking ass. Okay? They don't. All right? So get you, if you're gonna be out here with the girls at whatever function, get you a circle that actually considers that A, you married, and B, you're a fucking like public figure.
Yeah.
And so you possibly shouldn't be out here in the middle of no mess. Now, I heard that the doll was like apparently depressed or went, downward after whatever election or whatnot.
I barely even remember that story. Like, I barely even remember this as a story because just so much shit has happened. But
oh yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did feel kind of depressed and down.
Yeah, but get you, even there are a couple of other folks with melanin that like a circuit party that maybe will actually look after you and make sure that you're not going to be in no hot water and not misbehaving yourself or not, ruining your fucking life and career or marriage.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong if you're bi with going out to a gay party, as long as you're not going to have an affair and you're not going to like nearly die. So
yeah, like be careful with what you're doing. Them drugs is not for fun.
Right. And some of these girls don't care because like I'm saying.
But they nothing to play with.
Right. But like some of the girls be out here like going wild and crazy, and that's just Tuesday for them.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't, you know, they don't give a fuck. And they're willing and ready at any time to be like, hey girls, let's all not give a fuck. No, bitch.
Some of us have to care.
Some of us actually have to care because we have things to do and things to live for, and you know.
Yeah. You just need better friends, but you'll be all right, brother.
Yes, you need better friends, gay, bi, whatever the fuck, straight, whoever the fuck you are.
More black queer men in your life. I wish that for you. Those who will be a friend and not a messy hoe for Instagram.
Those who, if you threw a party and invited everybody that you knew in your life, you would see that the biggest gift there would be the one that they purchased for you. That's right. And if there was a card on it, it would say, thank you for being a friend. Thank you, Andrew, for being a friend and for allowing me to be a friend to you as well. That's what you do.
Amen.
That's it for Hot Tops this week. We're going to take a break, pay bills, and then we'll come back and talk to you about your business. So listen, we've all got things that we're working on right now, whether it's a career change, finding a partner, wasting less of your damn time, figuring out whatever it is that's going on in your head that makes you feel low. The hard part is not identifying all of these goals. It's taking the action. Thanks to Talkspace's online therapy, you can find a licensed therapist easier than ever. Get matched with your perfect therapist right from your device and connect with them on your own schedule from anywhere at any time. Better yet, 1 month on Talkspace costs about the same as a single in-person therapy session. It does. Talkspace therapists have experience treating depression, substance abuse, trauma, food and eating, and so much more. Talkspace is secure and private using the latest encryption technology to store client information. So you should go and chat with someone if you just are bugged out, are feeling low, or just have the need to talk to somebody about whatever. The bottom line is that we all need someone to talk to, and Talkspace wants to give the license support we deserve at a price that we can afford. As a listener of this podcast, you can get $100 off your first month on Talkspace. To match with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com or download the app. Make sure to use the code READ to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's READ and Talkspace.com. Go chat with somebody, get some stuff off your chest, and let's continue the show.
All right, guys, this week's listener letters are brought to you by Royal Oils. With Royal Oils, you never have to choose between a healthy scalp and moisturized hair ever again because what? That's right, girl. It does both. Love it so much. All right. Let's jump right in this week. Where do we start?
Who knows?
Okay. Damn. There's a lot here. Okay. So this first question comes from Caroline, who says, my older sister reeks of desperation. She's 40 years old and she has 2 daughters, 18 and 12. She was married to the girl's dad for 13 years, but they divorced 6 years ago. My brother-in-law has been living his best life ever since, going on vacation, starting a new job, and just got an apartment with his new fiance. I think this has my sister depressed because every conversation we have is about her wanting a man. I asked her last week if she wanted to go grocery shopping, and she was like, ooh, you think I'll find a husband there? It's gotten so bad that she's gone on a date with the mailman, the couch delivery man, even though he was fine, so I understand, and the random nigga down at Valvoline. She's exhausted. Valvoline is so random.
I don't know what that is. It's just a funny word.
It's like an auto body shop.
That's what my guess was. Okay.
She's exhausted all the dating apps, and she's even begun to hit on some of her oldest daughter's friends, which is a little gross. It's gotten to the point where I hate talking to her or visiting her because all she talks about is wanting a man. I've told her many a time that maybe this just isn't the time for her, but she doesn't listen to me because I'm married. I don't know what to do or say anymore, but I'm 110% sure that any man can smell her desperation a mile away. Please help. I'm not sure what to say to help my sister. Thanks, Caroline.
Well, what would you say to a sister in a situation like this?
I mean, I think, first first of all, I would try to figure out why she is so desperate. Like, if you say that your ex brother-in-law has been out here living his best life for the past 6 years, that makes me feel like your sister has been raising his daughters by herself for the past 6 years. And so maybe she's lonely and tired of that shit. Because, like, while she was taking care of his kids, he was out here traveling and going on vacation and getting a new job and can move into an apartment and all that because he's not concerned with the needs of these children. So she's probably worn out in more than one way.
I took that as her ex is very clearly dating and she feels the need to like have someone in her life if he does.
That's very possible as well, because this girl doesn't say that the brother-in-law is a bad daddy. So that might not be it. It could just be that the mama hasn't been dating and the ex-husband has. So now she's like, that nigga got a fiance and I'm still single. That could very well be it.
Right. You know what I mean? I think that is a very easy thing for someone to fall into. But I just don't know what do you do exactly to help her in a situation like that. Because it's very common for people to just be like, as you might say, desperate to find love or be in a relationship or something like that. And especially right now where people have just felt distant from everyone for such a long time and everybody's kind of like trying to figure out how their love life is supposed to work if they were single prior to quarantining and stuff. And even people who were in relationships are trying to figure out how to adjust and shit like that. So, I mean, I just don't know really what you say to her, you know what I mean, about it. Like, are you supposed to say, hey, bitch, like, you look real desperate and that's going to be a turn off for man or something? Like, what is it? What's their angle there or whatever? Because you talk about mama, like, went on dates with the furniture delivery man or whatever the fuck it is she said and stuff like that. Like Blanche Devereaux. Like, Blanche was having a great time, you know?
Yeah.
Who says that she's like suffering or miserable or not having a good time, you know?
Yeah, that's my thing about this, Caroline. Like, it sounds like the biggest problem is that you're annoyed by your sister's desperation, which I would probably just call extreme loneliness, but it sounds like you're just irritated by the fact that she can't talk about anything other than her pursuit of a man, and not that this is actually getting in the way of her life. You know, you're not saying anything here about, oh, she neglects her daughters and her kids are like, when is mommy coming back? Or, you know, that she's out here being unsafe or reckless or something. You know, I actually don't think it's nothing wrong with going on a date with the mailman or the couch delivery man or the nigga at Valvoline, because all them niggas have jobs. So if they cute and employed, then, you know, I mean, the point is to date now.
Right.
So I think maybe you need to adjust your attitude towards this. You could tell her, bitch, can we please talk about, like, sure, tell me about, you know, your dating hijinks. I would love to hear about your adventures, but there has to be something else going on in your life, bitch. You don't watch 90 Day Fiancé. You don't watch like P-Valley. You don't watch Lovecraft Country. Like, nothing. Like, you don't sew or knit or nothing, bitch. Like, you need a hobby as well, girl. Yeah. But it doesn't even really sound like the desperation is turning off the niggas. It sounds like they love somebody throwing that pussy. So until it comes to a point where it actually starts to negatively affect your sister, I would probably just leave it alone. Redirect the conversation when you get tired of talking about nothing but niggas. And other than that, I mean, it doesn't sound like it's all that awful of a situation to me.
Right. I guess I would also try to socialize in a setting that could sort of place her in an environment that you don't feel so judgmental about in terms of meeting niggas. Like, I don't know what that looks like right now. Maybe you go to the beach or whatever and you just talk about dating, or you talk about guys, or you like scope out some nigga that's jogging on the beach or something like that, since you seem to like feel a way about her dating the nigga from, you know, geek squad or whatever.
Yeah, like maybe y'all need to go sit on the sidewalk outside of Applebee's and have you some margaritas and just, chat shit, something like that, perhaps. But this doesn't really sound like it's that much of an issue to me.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I think that right now a lot of people are trying to figure out what their love life is looking like, trying to find somebody to like fit into, that little slot in their life. And a lot of people feel more lonely than usual because of everything that's going on and shit like that. So I would try not to be judgmental about it and just try to either promote ways where you feel like they can explore those feelings in a healthier manner. If you feel like the manner they're doing it right now is unhealthy, or like Crystal said, find ways to like change the conversation in a way that's not demeaning or hurtful, because it doesn't really sound like Mama's doing anything but trying to have a good time because she's here for a brunch time and not forever or whatever.
Yeah, and you are married, so you can't really relate to the loneliness of being divorced and raising them kids and all that shit. So maybe that is why she don't want to hear your shit, because it's like, bitch, you go home to your man every night. Like,
exactly.
Don't counsel me about this shit when it's not your life. So I can see why she don't really want to hear it from you. But also, you don't have to be irritated every single time you talk to your sister either. There's a happy middle ground there somewhere where you can just let her be out here and be as mixy as she can safely in the pandemic, and just kind of cheer her on and root for the best.
Right. Yeah, girl.
Let absolutely. That be that. Okay. Next question comes from Viv, who says, my most recent partner was great for the most part, but the abuse he received and observed growing up created trauma for him around relationships. Anytime we had a disagreement, he was always one foot out the door, and I would have to sort through what was a real threat versus an idle one of breaking up. Eventually, I understood that he never really wanted to break up, but one day in an argument, he suggested that maybe we weren't good together, and I said, okay, bet, and hung up. I know it was petty, but I was fed up with the threats, and I was also suspicious that he wasn't addressing this issue in therapy, even though I told him on multiple occasions that my patience was wearing thin. My question to you is, how do you love someone through their process? I don't have plans to go back to this relationship, even though he promised me that he would work on his issues with or without me. I have a pattern of dipping and going remote when I've reached a threshold of bullshit. It's something that I'm working on in my own therapy sessions. So in the age of FOMO and the grass is greener mindset, how do you know when to sit with someone's bullshit that they know is bullshit, but you also aren't in the business of giving angry ultimatums to niggas who should be able to hear you when you communicate a problem calmly? I just don't understand why people are so resistant to evolve when they say that that's what they want to do. Any advice you guys can give would be awesome. I appreciate what you do. Thanks, Viv. So, this is a really interesting question because most of us come to relationships with our own bullshit.
Yeah.
Some kind of baggage that we're bringing from our childhood or past relationships or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I do think there is a certain amount of grace, patience, empathy, that sort of thing that you're supposed to have in a relationship. But if you have communicated that something is a problem, and that's a big deal. Like somebody's arguing style that's an important factor. Yeah. So the fact that you keep getting to this place of like, oh, are we broken up for real or are we not with him? And you tried to establish boundaries around that and he wasn't able to meet them. I think that's a healthy place to draw the line. I think when you know that he knows that you aren't tolerating of this behavior, he knows that it's an issue that he has, which is huge because a lot of people aren't even aware of the ways that they're messed up. And he knows that it's something that needs to be worked on. I don't think there's any more, like, at that point, you saying this isn't acceptable is all that really needed to happen. Like, you don't have to continuously put up with your feelings being hurt for the sake of this man's process. At some point, this man has to take into account your feelings if y'all really do have this mutual love and respect. and say, let me make real changes in my life so that I don't alienate this person that I say I want to be with. So I think actually where you drew the line is a great place to draw the line. You gave him the chance. You were understanding. You were willing to work it out in therapy and all that. And for whatever reason, he didn't do the work. And so you don't have to continuously be hurt. Like, you have given him that chance.
I don't really know how to say how I feel about this. Like, it's not your responsibility to take on a certain level of like hurt or damage or whatever because you understand that the person you're dealing with that from has their own battle that they're dealing with that doesn't really have anything to do with you. Like, it is important to have that understanding, that empathy and stuff there, but it's not like you're not like a bad person for expecting or demanding better for yourself. You know, like there's not anything wrong with you or like dismissive by saying by drawing boundaries and saying, I understand that you're dealing with things I might not be dealing with or never dealt with or whatever, and that these actions are possibly a result of that, but you can also remove yourself from that situation and allow them to hopefully get the help that they need, learn the lessons that they need to learn, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's not like your job or your duty to remain by their side and suffer with them until they hopefully figure out what they need to figure out, whenever that may be. You know, like you can remove yourself from a situation and wish someone well on your way out. There's like nothing wrong with that.
That's a word.
And if they don't understand that, that's okay. Because with everything that they got going on, it might make sense that they don't get it. You know, but it's just like, you don't have to just take a whole bunch of licks, constantly just like feel smothered or small or abused or
taking
beaten
advantage of, all that shit.
Manipulate any of these things. That you don't have to do that just because you understand that this person is dealing with something emotionally, mentally, or whatever that is bigger than you and bigger than the circumstances. Let them get their help. You removing yourself from the situation may be the help that they need, and they don't even understand that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it may lead them to going somewhere or having a realization that they didn't have up until that point. But the bigger picture is like, it's not up to you to get them the revelation or the realization that they need for them to be good to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not, you're not a bad person for choosing yourself first while they figure out whatever they need to figure out to be a decent person or a decent person to you. So you don't need to feel bad for choosing yourself in a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's up to him, it's up to them to do what they got to do for them and for them to be good for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, you're not their doctor. So
yeah, I mean,
I hope that any of that makes sense.
It does. And like I said, I feel like you've given the patience that would be nice to receive from somebody that you are in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship with. But he doesn't get to continue to hurt you. You do get to choose yourself. So
yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no guilt or anything attached to that. You are allowed to choose you and do what's best for you. And if he says he's going to get help with or without you, then great. Let him get the help without you.
That's like perfect.
Yeah, because who knows if you do some growing and he does some growing and down the line y'all's paths cross again and this time both of y'all are in a healthier place. That could very well be it. But you know, you
it's a possibility.
Reached your point. I'm right. I'm not saying to bank on it, but anything is possible. And you've tried, you know, you tried more than I would have. So
that is like it's a nice possibility that maybe somewhere in the future y'all can reconnect on better terms for one another. Yep. But right now he's got to do what he needs to do for him, and that doesn't have to include you, because girl, guess what, you got to do what you got to do for you also, and that doesn't involve like any action from him for you or from you for him. You know what I mean? Like he said, he gonna get the help. Great, girl. That's exactly what I need to hear. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do while you do that.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, we'll meet each other again at some point in the future and be great friends, or be like in the relationship that we should have been. But don't even consider that. Go your way and do what you gotta do for peace for yourself, and let the cards, you know, drop where they may.
Yes.
But you don't have to sit in a situation and be hurt because somebody's going through some shit that you can't even help them with. Like, that doesn't make sense for anyone.
Right. And straight women usually end up taking care of niggas, even if they don't consciously do it. It's just something about the relationship dynamics where y'all usually end up doing most of the housework, most of the child rearing, all that sort of thing. And I don't want him to have good intentions of taking care of himself, and then y'all get together and then here you go, just naturally picking up the slack, and before you know it, y'all right back in the same patterns as before with nothing really changing. Good point. So yeah, take care of yourself. Good luck to both of you. Our last question comes from Lamont, who says, I just started going to therapy again. I've been before in the past and I didn't have a great experience, but I've been wanting to restart since COVID hit and ruined everything. I recently graduated, moved across the country away from all my family and friends, and am dealing with anxiety, which I have been dealing with all of my life. This has been necessary and definitely beneficial for me, but my question is about dealing with the less appealing parts of therapy. Well, I have kind of been looking forward to going each session, and I am feeling more comfortable opening up to her, and I feel like I'm learning a lot about myself and things I need to do to grow. Sometimes therapy is flat out draining afterwards. The last time I went, I learned that my attachment style is fearful, avoidant, and got an assignment to write down everything I needed to unlearn, and it was wonderful for a little while. But then I went home and didn't feel like doing anything or talking to anyone at all. And I spent the rest of my weekend laying on the couch, not doing anything I planned to do. Have you guys ever experienced that following therapy? If so, how did you deal with it? How do you stay motivated to keep going to therapy when it gets challenging? I would say a lot of nice things, but I know you're not going to read them. You right. Thanks, Lamont.
Yeah. I have had sessions in therapy where I felt just as bad, if not worse, afterward.
Oh, yes.
My last therapy session was like that. And it's because, like, sometimes you just unpack a lot of stuff, and in the process of talking about a lot of the shit that you're dealing with or that you have dealt with, you just exhaust yourself. You bring a lot of that muck to the surface, and then it just sits there. And those, you know, that's where your feelings are, and all of the things that you just kind of, you know, regurgitated or whatever. But like for me, therapy is different for people depending on whatever it is that your needs might be. I have like a clinical chemical type of depression where I might have to be in therapy for the rest of my life. And so I just look at it as like a case study. Like I imagine that my psychiatrist is like someone who is writing and directing a film about me, and that requires a shit ton of research and a whole lot of deep diving that is sometimes good or feels good afterwards and sometimes does not feel good afterwards, but it's all sort of a part of a greater project, which is like understanding and action as a result of understanding. So, like last week, when I have sessions of therapy where I feel incredibly agitated or triggered afterwards, I just try to remind myself that happens. And I try to use the tools that I've been given up until this point to either work myself out of it or maintain myself until the next time that I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to my therapist. So it's different, I think, for everybody, depending on your reasons for needing therapy, going to therapy, what you're going on, or what your current circumstances may or may not be, and a whole lot of other stuff. But like, therapy is not always going to be something where you finish your session and you feel better, because it's not really the way it works.
Yeah. I wish. I really do wish every session was like just a linear progression of feeling better and better about yourself. But the truth is that therapy will frequently make you feel worse in some ways. And that's because you're bringing up all these feelings that you have repressed or disassociated from or whatever else. So
it's like emotional exfoliation.
Yeah. So this is very common, and I feel that way a lot, especially after a really particularly heavy session where I'm just fucking exhausted and I don't have it in me to do nothing. And for a while, I was like drinking after therapy just because therapy wore me out so bad. And it was just like, I need like some feel good juice or something, because this is just too fucking much. But of course, I talked to my therapist about that, and that is really not the best way of handling things. So like my go-to is to smoke a lot of weed, pull up one of the streaming apps and watch TV for 6 hours or something like that. But my therapist got me into doing some things that have helped with that therapy hangover feeling, like journaling. If something is really sticking with me and like weighing me down after a session, then it's really helpful for me to journal about what came up in therapy. And it's not even like I have to try to figure it out. I'm literally just putting pen to paper and writing out how I feel. It's no right or wrong way to do it. You're just getting it out because all of that is sitting inside of you and it needs to go somewhere. It's also really helpful for me to take walks like around my block or around my neighborhood. Something about feeling grounded or back to your senses or back in your body or whatever hippie shit therapists be saying. But things like that, or even just reaching out and texting a friend or taking a fucking nap. Like not some 5-hour depression nap, but just a short little reset where I can rest and then get up and go on back about my day. All of those things really help. But that is a super common feeling. And I think it's also something that keeps people from pursuing therapy longer, because if you're honest with yourself and your feelings when you go, it's just a matter of time before you hit that wall. It's just a matter of time before you have a session and you leave and you're just like, bitch, I am worn the fuck down. Am I depressed right now? So yeah, it's really just about handling it, because sometimes it does feel worse before it feels better, but it does come back around to feeling better. And it's like, it's growth and it's real healing that takes place. So you can do it. You just need better ways to care for yourself while you're dealing with your therapy hangover, and it'll be a lot easier to manage. So, okay. I don't think I have anything else to say about that. That should wrap up the questions for this week. Again, the listener letters were brought to you by Royal Oils from Head and Shoulders. The line makes it easy to keep your hair and scalp moisturized and healthy. So go ahead, find out why we love it so much. You can pick up all the products in the line at Walmart stores and walmart.com. If you have a question for us, send it to asktheread@gmail.com. We'll be right back.
So guys, this week's episode is being brought to you by the new comedy series on Hulu, Woke. It is inspired by the life and the work of artist Keith Knight. Watch as Woke takes an absurdly irreverent look at identity and culture as it follows Keith, who's an African-American cartoonist, finally on the verge of mainstream success. When an unexpected incident changes everything for him with a fresh outlook on the world around him, Keith must now navigate the new voices and ideas that confront and challenge him, all without setting aflame everything he's built. It stars Lamorne Morris, Blake Anderson, T. Murph, Rose McIver, and Sashir Zameda. I'm actually excited to finish this series. I really like what it's doing with its concept. So check it out. All new episodes stream exclusively on Hulu. Visit hulu.com/woke for more information. Go check Woke out. Let us know what you think. And let's wrap up our show. Okay, we're back. It is time now for the read portion of the show. I will go first because I don't really have one. I just wanted to say that I clicked onto HBO Max the other day to watch the latest episode of Lovecraft Country. And on the homepage of HBO Max was a little clickable for Axios, the news program. And I suppose they had just done an interview with Mark Zuckerberg.
Please.
Anyhow, the photo of Mark Zuckerberg was the first thing that I saw when I opened HBO Max, and it legitimately frightened me. I felt it inappropriate for them to use such a close-up of that man's face. I don't feel like that is the right way to welcome people to a new streaming app. His harsh bayang bothered me. His drag queen eyebrows, his RuPaul's Drag Race eyebrows, they bothered me.
Lord.
His lips, his nose, everything about him, complexion. He looks like an aged cheese that I don't want. That costs way too much fucking money when you know that Kraft singles probably taste better in the first place. He looks like he knows that he's a bad person. He looks decayed. And for them to put that up on the front page rather than in the horror section is offensive, and I feel like it's a crime. And I would like for Axios to just do better. You know, consider the fact that there could be people of all ages, cultures, and sensitivities that might use the app. So for you to put this mutant right there up in the front, to me, was bothersome. I've heard rumors of like people in this country who might actually be like sharks or reptiles or something.
What?
Or I don't know how, you know, mole people or whatever the conspiracy theories are.
Us.
I feel like that's who you should ask about it, because he may be like their Secretary of State. It's bothersome, and you should be watching out for the things that you do and the choices that you make. And that's it. I'm done.
Okay. First of all, you are a damn mess. Secondly, I too just have a couple of quick things to talk about, and then I'll be out of here. First of all, a school in Colorado called Grand Mountain School. I don't know if you heard about this story, but there's a 12-year-old boy named Isaiah Elliott who was at internet school, this distant learning thing that they're doing now in most school districts. And so Isaiah had a Nerf gun with him at his home where he was by him, or not by himself, but with a friend. But Isaiah's art teacher noticed the Nerf gun, and she emailed his mother saying that She had notified the vice principal that Isaiah was distracted and playing with a gun, which she believed was fake. So Isaiah's mama responds to the email and says, yes, it's a toy gun. I'll talk to Isaiah about keeping it away during class. That is where the story should have ended. However, the vice principal of this school had already called one of their little police officers on reserve or whatever to look over the footage. And what do you think this officer decided to do? Oh, these people dispatched the motherfucking police to this child's house. They gave him, I believe, a 5-day suspension from school. And this is going on his record. It's like, let's see, he's been, suspended for 5 days. And now he has a record with the county sheriff's office saying that he brought a facsimile of a firearm to school.
Wow.
Now, this is, like I said, a Nerf gun. It is very clearly fake. The bottom might look a little bit real, but then it is bright neon green and orange at the top, and just no mistaking the fact that this is a toy gun.
As many toy gun companies do to make sure that you understand that it is
right. They don't even look like tiny little real replicas like they had in the lawless 80s when I was growing up. They don't even look like that no more. It's very, it says Zombie Hunter on the side. So
like even BB guns have that bright orange shit in the front.
Like,
yeah.
Y'all know what the police do to black people in this country. Y'all know that being 12 years old doesn't save little black boys. In fact, Isaiah's mama brought up Tamir Rice, who was that same age when he was shot and killed for playing with a toy gun. Not only did this boy have the police sent to him while he was in his own damn house, now he has a mark on his disciplinary paperwork saying that he brought a fake firearm to school when he did not actually do that. He was at home. And the vice principal, nobody is being at all understanding or lenient about this punishment. They are not going to get rid of this disciplinary record. They're not going to clear it up. They are not budging on the suspension thing. And honestly, at this point, there's really not much that they can do about it. Of course, the vice principal is saying it's for the student safety and we have to make sure that students are all safe and all this. But if you were really concerned about a student's safety, you could have, first of all, because y'all did this, you could have reviewed the tape and realized it was fake. You could have checked back in with the art teacher who said, oh yeah, Isaiah's mom emailed me back and said it's definitely a toy gun and she'll talk to him about it. You could have thought, the police love killing niggas, like literally love it. They do it for fun and they don't get into any trouble. So maybe if we want students to be safe, the last thing we would do is send the police to a 12-year-old's house for not breaking any rules or breaking any laws. But y'all did that anyway. Y'all literally did the exact opposite of what you would do if you cared about a student's safety. I can't even imagine how pissed off these parents must have been. It says here that Isaiah's parents are both in the military and they have pulled him out of school and put him on a wait list for a charter school. But she said that he has ADHD and he is just a funny, sweet, goofy 12-year-old kid, a lot like every other 12-year-old kid. And y'all just don't see him that way because of his skin. This child was terrified, said that he thought he was going to jail when the police showed up because it was a Nerf gun on his damn couch that he moved from one side to the other. The police in your home when you already trying to go to internet school, which is the worst fucking thing. And it's so many people in positions of leadership over children in this country who don't actually give a fuck about kids. There's so many people involved in administration, teaching, the entire educational process who don't actually give a fuck about children. Because I'm sorry, I can't look at this situation and see people at the top who actually gave a fuck about this boy's well-being. Y'all really ought to be ashamed. And I don't even know if they can sue for emotional distress. I don't even know if that qualifies in this situation, but I hope that the parents are able to do something about it because the trauma you gave that little boy is not going to go away no time soon. The police at your fucking door for having a toy gun in your own house. So now you can't even be black with a toy in your own house? Not even at home? So that's one. Number two. On September 10th, T.I. got on Instagram. Being T.I. Being a very ridiculous, very rich nigga. Talking about what niggas should be doing with their government money or their stimulus checks or their refunds or whatever else. Talking about y'all getting that PPP and that SBA and all this shit and y'all not doing nothing with that money. The minks is all sold out of the stores. It ain't no lubes. It ain't no Louis. It ain't none of that shit. Y'all done bought up all that shit, but y'all ain't bought no property. Y'all ain't bought no land. It don't even matter if it's a house on the property. It could just be a patch of dirt. Just go get the fucking patch of dirt. You niggas is hustling backwards, all this, blah, blah. Now, first of all, if T.I. knew things, which he does not, he would know that the overwhelming majority of people who have received some form of government bailout are not getting anywhere near enough money to go buy some goddamn property.
I don't know what he heard.
The overwhelming majority. You know who's getting a whole bunch of money? Niggas like Kanye and the LA Lakers and other giant organizations that took millions of dollars that actual small businesses really needed to keep their payroll afloat, to keep their operations alive. That's who's actually getting enough money to go out and buy a house. Not niggas who got $1,200 4 months ago and are getting food stamps now and just praying to make ends meet every fucking week. So that would have been bad enough on its own, right? Like, oh God, here T.I. go again, talking out the crack of his ass. 2 days later, Clifford Harris was charged. For promoting 2 unregistered and fraudulent initial coin offerings.
Yep.
These are Bitcoins or some other kind of cryptocurrency. I don't understand white people and their pretend internet money, but T.I. was offering these tokens on his social media accounts, selling them, talking about he was a co-owner of the brand, which he is not, encouraging his followers to invest and asking his celebrity friends to promote it and all this. However, by doing that, he helped raise money for these blatantly, clearly undeveloped and phony cryptocurrency companies, money that he then spent to buy a Ferrari and a bunch of diamond jewelry and other luxury goods. You know, the very same things he told niggas not to buy, in addition to $1 million home.
That's nice. Now,
the statement that his lawyer or spokesperson or whoever put out was like, you know, Mr. Harris is sorry and he tried to help, you know, an entrepreneur who had this great idea, but the man never built the platform. And so Mr. Harris, what it really sounded like was Mr. Harris heard something that sounded good, saw some dollar signs that sounded even better, and said, fuck anything that might make sense or might operate under the laws of this country. I'm going to do it anyway.
That's what I assumed.
Now, he doesn't actually have to go to jail for this one, which is shocking because, you know, they do love to lock that nigga up, but he has to pay a $75,000 fine, and he is banned from partaking in the cryptocurrency market for the next 5 years. I just thought the irony of this was incredible. I mean, 48 hours passed between this nigga getting on his Instagram, preaching to broke people about how they should spend the very little bit of money the government has given them to literally stay alive. And then 2 days later, going down for promoting a bunch of bullshit so that you could make a whole bunch of money to buy that exact same dumb shit.
Yeah.
You was literally judging niggas talking about ain't no more Cartier, ain't no more lubes, y'all done bought out Tiffany, ain't no more minks. How would you know if you wasn't in the store looking for the same shit? How would you know if you didn't have your ass down to Phipps and Lennox looking for the same shit? How do niggas find it? How do y'all do this? How can you be involved in your own stankin', raggedy schemes and then judge people who are doing their best with maybe, because again, niggas are not getting thousands and thousands of extra dollars to spend on nothing. So I just don't even understand how you can take a look at what's going on in the real world, how most families are real life affected by the virus, and decide to shame poor people for having things when you're just over here lying and scheming and taking a check so you can have those exact same things. Jeez, Mr. Clifford, I wonder who placed such a value on these items in the first place. I wonder who these people are trying to emulate. I wonder who they're trying to keep up with. I wonder the same thing about you. Now, T.I. ain't made no sense in a very long time. That whole situation with his daughter pretty much cemented all that, but I just could not let this go. Just could not let it go, because the irony is entirely too much. You got a lot of fucking nerve, my nigga.
Fair enough.
I just... Wasn't he supposed to be teaching a class or being a TA or something at one of them schools in Atlanta? Wasn't he supposed to be...
I vaguely remember something like
I'm sure at this point they have run that back. Like, you just take all that money, you go sit down somewhere with Eris Harris and Tiny and however many of your kids are still young enough to live at home with you, and you just be the best dad you can be. You just focus on that. Doing your little Instagram rap shows, whatever else you got to do to keep money coming in during the pandemic. But trying to lecture niggas on what they should or should not do when you wrapped up in some shit that got the fucking SEC on your ass, girl, don't talk to me. And that's it. I'm fucking done. I was gonna say something about that washed up nigga who used to be a rapper, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna just say, somebody who beat their partners, causing one to have a miscarriage, and jacks they dog off can never hurt my feelings. And that's that on that.
All right. Well, I guess you guys know what that means. It's the end of the show. Yeah.
That's right. That wraps up this week's episode of The Read. Check us out on social media at This Is The Read. Our website is thisistheread.com. Shoptheread.com for merch. Friend, any announcements from you this week?
Nothing on this side.
Hallelujah. Well, on that note, I guess we are out of here. We'll see you hoes next week.
Bye, guys.